Continuing on with NFL team previews, we got the Denver Broncos with a win total of 8.5, which clearly shows the odds makers think the Broncos will be much improved from their 5 wins last season. I agree somewhat too. Sean Payton's now in as head coach, and Denver opened up their wallet this offseason. They spent the most money on free agents, $255 million. That's more than any other team in the league. In the last 6 years, every team that has spent the most money on free agents has improved their win total by an average of 5 games. The Jags spent the most money last season and won 9 games after going 3-14 the year before. The Sean Payton hire, probably the biggest coaching upgrade in the league. Great game planner. He tweaks his schemes week to week based on opponent strengths or weaknesses. I think Payton is going to do a lot of what he did with Breeze the last few years of his career when his arm strength kind of fell off, and that's adding more, multiple tight end, multiple running backs, establishing a traditional ground game with shorter passes in the passing game. This is interesting here. This plot chart here shows wide receiver catch score by open score. The 2 receivers with the lowest catch score in the league, Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton. But I actually really like Jerry Jeudy this season. Peyton had a lot to do with the Michael Thomas's success all those years with play design and routes, and I think he'll do the same for Jeudy, and he's going to have a big season because of it. Also, wide receiver Tim Patrick looks to be out for the year now. He was going to take away targets from Jeudy. And plus, there's reports that Russell Wilson, big fan of Jeudy, and he's consistently giving Jeudy the first look in his progressions. Russ should have more time to throw now too. He took the second highest percentage of sacks in the league last season, with his pressure to sack percentage at a career high 27%. He'd never been above 20% until last year. Little of that is attributed to his decline in mobility, of course, but the O-line gets additions of McGlinchey and Ben Powers. Question always is, can everyone stay healthy? 10 different offensive linemen started a game for the Broncos last year. Denver had the worst injury luck in the NFL, finishing with the most adjusted games lost due to injury at both wide receiver and running back. And it's now been 4 straight years as a top 10 most injured team. Another pickup I really like is the Samaje Perine as a third down back. Could see Peyton use him a lot in the passing game. The bright spot for Denver last year was definitely defensively. They finished 6th in yards per play allowed and 9th in EPA allowed. They added Zach Allen from the Cardinals, who just had a career best season. Probably the biggest difference this season, besides Sean Payton replacing Hackett, is Russell Wilson had so much control over the offense last year. And I don't think that's the best approach. Pete Carroll always kind of kept Russ in check. Russ had his own personal coach and his own office last season with Denver. He was clearly given free reign over not just the offense, but the Broncos organization. Nathaniel Hackett just gave Russ way too much control, but right off the jump, Peyton said no more of this personal coach stuff. We have our own staff and facilities, in the facilities, and no player is, gets their own office. So Russ goes from total control to just a QB for the Broncos, which is how it should be. I have Denver with the 10th ranked strength of schedule. They should be able to, start the season with some wins. I have them favored in 3 out of their first 4 games this season, but the Broncos are one of 5 teams this year that will have to play 3 straight road games. Since the year 2000, teams playing the last game of a 3rd straight road game without a bye and as an underdog are just 44% against the spread and have only won 26% of those games outright. Denver also hasn't been very lucky. Just 4-9 in one-score games, and they went 0-3 in overtime. They're now 5-14 in one-score games the last 2 seasons. And as you know, one-score games has a lot to do with luck and randomness. Also, Denver's opponents never seem to miss field goals against them, making 39 out of 41 field goals, which is the second highest percentage allowed. This season, in my opinion, is just going to be all about Russ. I don't think last season's career lows was all due to head coach Nathaniel Hackett. Russ is just old now. It's unavoidable. Last season he faced one of the easier schedules of past defenses, but finished 25th in expected points added, and Pro Football Focus graded him 29th out of the 31 quarterbacks that qualified. But what's different this year is he won't have any excuses, so we shall see. But that's it for the Broncos. 26 more teams to go. Jets fans, you're up next. I'll see you tomorrow.